All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this Micro One forum on our company data partnerships program. This is our third forum where we're going to share a bit more about this program that we're running, where we are partnering with companies to purchase their data workflows to train AI models. So it's a really exciting topic and partnership that we have going right now. So I'm happy to be joined by Jerome Jose, our CFO, as well as David Revland, human data at Micro One. So let's just kick off this forum by chatting a little bit about who Micro One is and why we are starting this program to begin with. So I'll open it up to the floor.
Yeah, amazing. Cool. Thanks, Sydney. Thanks, David, for jumping on as well, and thanks for everybody to take part in this webinar. Really excited for this discussion. Yeah, just to start out, so Micro One, we are a data lab, and we basically help train and improve AI models and AI agents. And in a pretty simple manner, we provide specific types of data that our customers will consume. And that type of data is in a very specific format that helps AI learn from the environment and basically improve and do what it is supposed to do better. And this can range from a wide variety of domains and a wide variety of types of use cases that the AI is meant to do. And yeah, we basically do this through our Micro One platform that creates these really interesting, unique data sets that are then consumed by our customers. So that's like kind of high level who Micro One is.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think it would be helpful to walk through the process end to end of how a company can get involved in our company data partnerships program, if any of you want to take a stab at that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So initially, there might be maybe you got referred from a peer or a friend, or you found us organically. From there, you'll typically set up a first call with a member of our team, typically a data partnership manager. And then from there, we'll have you fill out a data manifest form. The data manifest form will be through another one of our platforms, data.micro1.ai. And then I'll just get some preliminary info about your corpus of data, what your company stores, so what services you use, whether it's like Google Workspace, Slack, project management tools, GitHub, etc. And then the rough sizes for those tools as well. We provide certain info on how to find the size for Google Drive, for example, and some other tools. And then once you've submitted that data manifest form, we'll be able to send over proposed pricing to you all. And once we're aligned there, we'll be able to send over some contracting language and then move forward with the data transfer. So the data transfer, we want to make it as lightweight on you all as possible. So we have a dedicated forward deployed engineering team that will walk you through that process and try to keep it lightweight. And then once the data is delivered, we'll verify it on our side, and then we can move forward with payment from there.
Awesome. And maybe one thing I can also jump in and kind of like add as well is, which I guess I didn't really cover in the first question, but like what this new program entails, right? And so we typically what we've seen before is basically we are trying to recreate environments that essentially mimic the real world, right? That's ultimately like what AI is trying to interact with the real world and then learn from it. And so historically, we can kind of hire specific experts and synthetically or like create it from scratch, which is more of an imitation of the real world. The ideal training environment is the real world itself. And so with this company data partnership program, that's what we're trying to do, right? And so the two components is companies are basically providing their real data around what it is that they do, their operations. This allows the AI or an agent to learn and really see, okay, how did a real problem get resolved? Like I'm the CFO, so like the marketing team asked for budget, right? And okay, well, how was that analyzed? What tools were used? What spreadsheets were used? Did they communicate via email? Did they have to validate quotes? So all of these things, the companies have all of this data, and these are great use cases that AI can automate so that as a CFO, I've got like a much easy, I can focus on other things that are much better. And as like the marketing person also can focus on actually the marketing and not have to kind of do back and forth, collating this data, trying to get approval. And so, so effectively the way that this takes place is companies can basically take their entire, as David said, their corpus of data and basically provide it, and we will pay to use that data to train the AI on so that it knows how to handle these kinds of use cases.
Perfect. Thanks for the addition there, Jerome. Yeah. As Jerome said, I think the reason why we need like these end-to-end workflows, or I guess the broader corpus of data, is as Jerome said, that communication to deliverable process is what's interesting. Where if Jerome sends me a DM and asks for a finance report, uh, we have one that ask in Slack, but then we also have maybe that finance report in Google Sheets. But I'll pause there.
Yeah, I feel like that provides really great context for what this real world data actually means. So it's a mix of any type of data or workflow that your company uses to operate, from Google Sheets to email to Slack to, any backend platform that you use, depending on what type of company you are. So I feel like that's a really great explanation. Thank you, Jerome. I think it might be helpful for the audience if we dive into what type of companies are a good fit for this program. If any of you want to take a jump at, if there's any restrictions around the types of companies that are fit or any industries that we're specifically looking at, I think that would be helpful to go over.
Yeah. Yeah. So typically companies that we're looking for, uh, we'll have at least 20 full-time employees. There are a few different metrics that we're looking for here. So at least 20 full-time employees, at least about a terabyte of data. So of course, this is within your entire corpus. So we've seen a lot of companies have a terabyte of data within singly their Google Workspace, their Google Drive, etc. Um, as well as we are currently looking for the data to be in English. But there's definitely opportunity for us to expand outside of just English from there going forward. In terms of industries, we really are interested in every industry there is. There's a lot of use cases for this data. So if you have this amount of stored data and are this sufficient size, we're interested in working with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so pretty much any type of industry can be a fit. Um, Maybe we should jump into how we handle privacy and PII when it comes to transferring over this data. If there's any personal identifiable information in this data that could be handed over, how do we deal with that and make sure that the company's data is safe and their client data is also protected?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that's very much top of mind for pretty much all of the companies that have participated in this, and it's actually like the response so far has been really positive because there's been just like already a very high volume of companies that are going through this, which is really exciting. And I think I should also point we kind of have like there is not really an upper bound in terms of the number of companies that we're taking on. So we're at least for now, and so it's exciting to see like kind of all this volume and to be able to offer this to basically as many companies as are interested in good fits and participating. Yeah, so on the privacy side, this is super important. The first thing to know is like the idea here is actually like nobody wants the private or the PII information. I think the main idea here is to really understand what is the workflow, not what is the name of the person doing the workflow, or what is the specific line item. If I use that budget example, in the budget, what's the name of the vendor? That's actually like not of interest. What's of interest is just what are the different tools and what is pulled from each tool. How do different people interact? Because that's how it can learn how to automate a future potential task, right? Whether like the name of the vendor or the name of the person is not really relevant when there's a future budget request or whatever it is that somebody's going to try to do. So in terms of the process, when we receive the corpus of data, it goes through basically a PII scrubber tool, which removes any personal identifiable information. This is something that we take extremely seriously. It's something our customers as well expect. And so we have this very in-depth process to remove this information. It is sampled on multiple different points. And only once we're very comfortable that there is no PII can this move forward and actually be used to train. And I think so far that's been a very good approach. And we've had companies give, I think, very positive responses to how that's gone so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And to kind of jump in there, on the PII point, we do also emphasize that our PII, we're not simply putting like black ink over names and dates of birth, etc. We actually have like a PII transformation tool is the goal where let's say we're changing David to Daniel in our Slack. We also want to change that same identity of David to Daniel in our Google Workspace. So that, like Jerome said, we're not interested in the fact that my name is David in itself, but we are interested in the identity of that person, like the role that I am. So someone in human data at Micro One takes this action across platforms, etc. So um, yeah, it's a transformation there of the PII as well.
It's a great explanation. Thanks so much for walking us through that. I think that's a definitely a key point that we get questions about a lot. So it's definitely top of mind for us and part of our data trust principles that we've created when we first kicked off this program. So thank you so much for walking us through that. I think we should also dive into the referral program that we offer. We offer companies, upwards of $50,000 to just refer companies to this program. So if you guys want to jump at, why are we offering companies so much money for this, and is this this program seems a bit crazy, but it's working and it's really amazing. So I'll let you guys take a step at that.
Yeah, I can take first pass. They would feel free to jump in. So yeah, so the referral program is open to really anybody. That can be companies, it can be individuals. If you know of someone or know of a company that you think kind of meets these criteria or even would be interested, we highly recommend that you refer them to us. We have a referral platform. I think we might I don't know the link off the top of my head, but if you Google like Micro One referral platform, it'll come up pretty quickly. And basically, when you refer a company, we will pay the person who makes that referral up to $50,000 per company that's referred. You will get paid, and the amount varies from 7,000 to 50,000. It depends on kind of some of the metrics David mentioned, the size of the company, the engagement that we end up having with the company. So once we identify the company, if we know it's a good fit, and then eventually they get onboarded onto Micro One, depending on some of these factors, we'll decide the actual referral fee. We've seen quite a few actually referral fees at the 50,000 threshold. So it's not like this is like an anomalous number that we put an upper bound. But we actually want to pay, and I'll get to why, but we want to pay the $50,000 referral fees because that means these are like larger companies or very rich data sets that are really, really helpful for model training. And so, yeah, so that's the approach. We yeah, and I think the first point is like, well, why are we willing to pay $50,000? The amount that we pay for these companies that are signed up, that are selling their or that are allowing us to train the data on can be up to $2 million. And we've seen certainly a lot of, again, that's not like just an anomalous upper bound. We really are paying companies within that range. And so relative to that purchase price that we make, $50,000 is something that's like a very fair referral fee, we find. And so yeah, it's pretty exciting, and we've got a few of these $50,000 referral payments queued up, and we're excited to like really launch this in earnest, and hopefully just generate a huge amount of referral fees and a huge amount of income for people who take part in the program.
Mhm. Thank you, Jerome. Yeah, I think there's a huge benefit and upside to companies that participate in this program. You can create a, revenue stream that you wouldn't have otherwise known about, while helping contribute to the advancements of AI that could in turn help your company in the long run as well. So I see a lot of questions coming in the chat, so I think it might be a good time to transition to audience Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in, and I'll pick out some that I think are relevant to discuss. One of the first ones that has come up is a question about if this program is a continuous setup or a one-off deal. Is there a time frame associated with this partnership program? If any of you want to take a jump at that one.
Yeah, I'll jump in there. So, this is a good time to mention our workflows track, which I'll touch on in a second here. But the corpus, or our enterprise data partnerships track, where you deliver a corpus of data, is one time in the immediate term, but there's potential in, say, 6 months from now for a top up where we purchase any new data within that 6 month period that's been created by your company. But a more consistent or reliable method for recurring revenue now is our workflows track, which I won't get too into the details of. But in short, we are looking to work with companies and integrate a general use agent into your day-to-day workflows and help automate some of those away. And in return, your company will provide some brief feedback on how it did, and ideally, it overall saves your company time as they're able to. Like we talked about earlier, Jerome asked me to generate a finance report. Hopefully, that finance report could be automated with the help of the workflows in this track. So with that, we're also willing to pay per task that's completed, so per finance report that's completed. Of course, it's much more broad than that. It's really any workflow that is relevant to your company, your employees, etc. But that is another option once you complete your data corpus transfer or move forward with that.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Some other questions that are very relevant is regarding PII. Some people are wondering if they can deliver their data pre-scrubbed or if it needs to be scrubbed afterwards. So I know this is a topic that a lot of people have questions about. So I'll let you guys answer that one.
Yeah, so for regarding PII scrubbing, we do need to transform it on our side because of our very like specific methodology here of transforming the data from one entity or like one name to another and tracing that entity throughout different platforms. Uh, we scrub it on our side to make sure that the data holds the value that we need rather than like the alternative of like putting a black box over that data.
Awesome. Thank you for that clarification. And then another question that might just be relevant to the broader, purpose of this program is what do we do with this data? What is this data being used for in this industry? Why do labs want this type of data to begin with?
Yeah, I think Jerome touched on this well at the start of the call, where to this point in like AI training broadly, it's been majorly synthetic data where uh, maybe folks are helping provide their expertise in certain fields to improve the efficacy of certain AI models. But to this point, they've been in synthetic environments that don't really emulate the real world, and it's not able to capture like the real day-to-day conversations of two team members and what the outcome of those conversations is. Typically, it's been very specific asks lead to X artifact in an LLM response. The goal of seeding this data is to capture what is really going on behind the scenes in the workplace. So maybe AI can make certain inferences to create desired deliverables, etc. But again, without or within realistic asks and what it really looks like in the real world.
Thank you, David. Awesome. Some other questions that we have coming in is what is the, time commitment for a company to be involved in this program? How many people are required? Who from the company might need to be involved in this? Yeah, what's the time commitment for them? Either of you want to jump at that?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll take a first stab, and I think it's also good just in case some people have joined like midway. I think it's good to like just really recap on the three. There's three ways for someone to participate in this, and then like what are the different commitments for each of them. And so some of this will be a little repetitive, but I'll try to keep it brief. So the first way is a company can just sell us in a one-time transaction. They can sell to us the full corpus of data of that company. That's a one-time transaction. It doesn't take too much resource. It's usually like we have a forward deployed engineering team that'll work often like with maybe one or two people on the IT side to help facilitate this data transfer effectively. And again, this is one time, and it's maybe like 10 hours ish over a week or two of time from a single person at the company. And that's where we're paying from 100 to $2 million one-time transaction. That's the first way to get engaged. The second way to get engaged is a recurring revenue stream where employees within the company, and this can be as you know, as like a varied, and we have somewhere where it's like dozens and dozens of employees are doing this, will basically use AI in their day to day to try to automate their own work. And so many people already do this anyways, but the key part here is they're also grading in a very specific manner, evaluating how did the AI do this task I asked it to do. Here's how it should have done it. And so this is a workflow, basically, and they're providing the evaluation. So they would give us this data as well as the trajectory of what the AI agent tried to do. And for that, for each task completed, I think we're paying $700 to even $800 per task, and that can take a couple of hours to do. So that's an ongoing basis, and that's up to a company to determine. Well, do we want one or two, or do we want 15 employees doing this, and maybe they do 5 of these a week, and that can quickly add up to a lot of revenue. But there's a little bit more recurring engagement by the different employees within the company. But again, it's up to the company to determine just how engaged they want to be or not, and their revenue, their recurring revenue will be commensurate to that. And then the third part is this is on the referral side, which you talked about. If you know of a company that fits either of those, and by the way, the companies can participate in both, right? Number one and number two. But if you know a company, you can refer them to us. And again, that's as much time as you want to spend referring these companies, and you can get paid from between $7,000 to $50,000 per company that's referred.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerome. I think this is a seamless transition into another question I see in the chat, which is, can you explain the why or what's in it for me for the companies who participate? So I know you just touched on a couple different points. This could be a recurring revenue stream. It can also help your companies become more AI native. But if you want to jump more into the details about how this is very beneficial to the companies who participate, I think that'd be a great question to talk about.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Go for it, David. Yeah. And I think, by the way, Sydney, I think you answered the question like very well and very succinctly. But yes.
Yeah. I think yeah, I agree. I think Sydney answered the question really well, actually. For each of these tracks, of course, the revenue is playing a major role for the enterprise data partnerships or the corporate selling your corpus of data. It's $100,000 to 2 million, as Jerome stated earlier, as well as the reoccurring stream or the recurring revenue stream of workflows. But to kind of dig in more to how your teams are going to become more AI native. This is relevant to workflows where your team is going to learn how to use AI in their day-to-day, what tasks can be automated now, but also teach AI what tasks will be automated in the future or like will need to be automated in the future and how it will learn to automate those tasks. So one, your team will become more comfortable with AI and become more AI native, as well as you are directly training these models to be better at the tasks that your company is completing. So you're impacting or driving AI toward being better at the tasks that you need it to be.
Mhm. It's a really great way of explaining it. Yeah, diving deeper into that is super helpful for people to understand. And I think there's a huge upside for companies that get involved. Puts you really at the forefront of model training and how AI is getting embedded into companies, which we'll see, have a growth in the future. So I think we have time for maybe like 1 to 2 more questions as we come up on the 30 minutes here. I think there are some questions regarding some clarification around the languages that we're accepting and the locations. If you guys just want to do a quick recap, I think some people might be joining a bit later. So I know we might be repeating for whoever's been here a while, but I think it's great to go over.
Sure. Okay. I'll take a stab at it. So there's the we can accept any company that fits the criteria. We have a preference for U.S. and Canadian-based companies. We have a preference for English as the kind of main language within the data within the workflows. But we are open to other languages as well. Yeah, I think that's probably the answer. David, feel free to weigh in as well if I'm incorrect there, but I think that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect on locations. Quick note on the languages. For now, we're interested in a large majority of the data set being in English. We'll say about 80% plus of that of the data set as a minimum criteria. But as we move forward with this initiative, there's definitely possibility for us to expand into other languages as well. And we'll of course keep you all posted as those come up.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for sharing more information about this program that we're running. We're currently looking for companies who are interested in participating. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach out directly to any of us. It's just our first name at micro1.ai. We also have a landing page about this on our website, and I will send over all of this information in a follow-up email for everyone that's attended. So I'll make sure everyone has all the information you need about the program itself and the referral program. So yeah, please spread the word, and thank you so much for joining. And yeah, we'll answer your questions on a call. So appreciate it. Have a good one.
Amazing. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Sydney.
Thank you
Thanks,
all.
David.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Thanks, Vinny. Thanks, Ron.